Miss Morgandale joining me up in the booth tonight. Happy to have a co-host, get a bit different perspective here. Any thoughts on what you were expecting from you tonight, Morgan? Not to put you on the spot, but
I'm definitely excited to be here. It's definitely a huge change from being on the driver side. As if you guys don't know, I do race the 00 Thunderstock that obviously has not been out since COVID started, but hoping sometime in the future we'll make it back out. But for now, well, we'll pass time with announcing to make your guys' racing experience a lot better.
I'm sure you'll probably be rooting for your dad. Is that you'll have to be unbiased with the modifieds come out here, try to...
Our modified, I still believe, is not here after we blew the motor for the second time this year 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, Jim Dale Jr. is still going to be racing just the late model tonight.
He has not had any luck at all this season. I know guys have luck that comes and goes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But 2 motors in one season in the modified, not... I'm sure what he wants. Seems to be doing okay in the late model, so still gets to get out and race.
Yeah, there was 1 year, I think we went through 3 motors in 1 year, and he took all the broken motors and built a motor out of all the good parts of the broken motors. So that modified, yeah, it's got a curse on that thing.
Sometimes that happens. I know a couple other drivers I've talked to. Patrick Lajeunesse in the 98P, he continually, every time I see him before the races, mentions, man, I just got to shake this bad luck. Hoping for a good run. He rolled that car already this season. Looking for better things, slowly but surely. And a lot of drivers, what we've kind of forgot, this is the first year on this racetrack. So a lot has changed from what these guys are used to. The last time we raced in 2019, it's all new. So a lot more pressure on these motors to work harder on this bigger track. And it's been a learning curve for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, you definitely need a lot more power. There's a lot more straightaway, and your corners are definitely a lot wider. So that's why I'm eager to get back out, because I have not been on this track yet.
Well, as always, throughout the week, if you want to know what's going on, make sure you follow along on our Facebook page. We've got lots of information on upcoming events there. You can always check out our website, southernontariomotorspeedway.com. The schedule is there, and we are slowly getting down to the end of our schedule. It's crazy to think. We started the season in the lockdown. We didn't actually get to watch too many races. We've got some fans. Many fans have made their way back to the racetrack. Happy to have you back. Unfortunately, coming up in just a few more weeks, our season will come to a close, but it's a big weekend. October 8th and 9th, we have our shootout weekend.
Which will also be the Brett Riom Memorial Race that weekend as well.
Yeah, just announced from Andrew Riom that putting some things together in honor of his dad, Brett Riom. Brett has been around the track for years and years and years. Obviously, if you've bought parts for any of your hot rods, you've probably been to Westside Performance in Blenheim and have dealt with Brett in one way or another. I'm sure you've seen the 77 machine in days past. So some big things happening for the shootout weekend, as well as the Action Sprint Tour and the Knights of Thunder Sprints will be back here. So lots of sprint car action, lots of racing action. 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night. That's October 8th and 9th to cap off our season here at the racetrack.
Well, we've been quite fortunate to get racing, because I know that Ohsweken Speedway didn't get to open up this year. So we've been fortunate to have some drivers down that way come here to get our car count up. We are just getting ready here soon to drop the green flag.
I see the gang from Chatham-Kent Safety Village making their way around. Grab those 50-50 tickets. That draw will be coming up at intermission. But before we get to that, we got to get some green flag racing action ready to go. Aiden with green flag in hand. Drivers going to make their way through 3 and 4 for the first time tonight. We are going to fire it up here at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway.
Ooh. Looks like the 00 and the 1A got a little close on that start, but the 1A was able to pull ahead. It's always nice when you can get a clean first lap in.
Well, it is a clean first lap. Glad these guys are gone through here. Jake Hooker out to the early lead, followed by Jim Dale in the 00. Brian Spielman in that third position. And just like that, we've got a car around. Caution will come out. Mike Lewis in the 05 machine has brought it around at the bottom of 1 and 2. Looks like Jordan Van Hall in the 06.
It's the 26, of JJ Billio.
JJ bringing it around, obviously just trying to get woed up before he got into the 05. Spun around, but no worse for wear, no harm for either of these drivers. I'm sure just dealing with those slick conditions that you mentioned earlier on down there at the bottom of 1 and 2. Nose to tail, they tighten up as they come through 3 and 4. Hooker, Spielman, and Dale bringing them back to green in our late model first feature of the evening.
Looks like we got the 311 that kind of went up a little bit, but he's still going. Got 2 cars in the infield.
Well, looks like we'll stay green. We've got the 11 car, Brad Bloomfield. He came to a stop on the infield after that contact with the 311 and the 05 with Mike Lewis. Looks like some push issues on that 311. He seems to be headed in the wrong direction as caution now comes out.
By the sounds of it, we have debris in 1 and 2, so they are going to throw the caution. We throw the caution for debris if it's something metal or something that could be dangerous to our drivers. Oh, it looks like it is a part off the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. Looks like he lost, I don't know, part of his skirt, maybe.
Got some SpongeBob samples laying down there on the racetrack from that 00 car. And
you know what? Ever since I've literally been alive, I have never seen a car that did not have SpongeBob somewhere on it. It is like Jim Dale Jr.'s signature character.
It's funny, most people listening on this side will have no idea, but for a number of years, again, as long as I've been at the racetrack, Pajama Jim, if you will, Jim Dale comes to the racetrack in his pajama pants. As silly as that sounds, some people may know, but he is definitely always comfortable before the races, and I believe he probably has some SpongeBob pajamas that he wears.
We consider it a bad omen if he shows up in jeans. I have to ask him what's wrong, because you never wear jeans to the racetrack.
Maybe he wore those the night the motor had some issues with the modified.
Probably could link those two together.
Well, we got the debris picked up. Looks like the 11 car of Bloomfield is going to get a push off the racetrack, and also the 311 of Sam Paniccio. He made his way to the pits, took the hard right turn down there in turn 3. So he has gone off after that collision with Mike Lewis and the 11 on the bottom of 1 and 2 there. So driver's still kind of getting things sorted out here as the track conditions starting to come around a little bit better, but going to be dry slick, I'm sure.
Looks like the 11 of Brad Bloomfield just needed a little bit of a push to get that car going. Looks like he's going to be staying on the track to hopefully finish out this feature. And they are going to put the 11 to the back, as they did do a lap while he was in the infield, so he does not get his spot back.
I kind of thought that should happen there. So Brad Bloomfield to the back as we get ready to go back to green for our late model feature.
RH21 of Greg Haskell creeping his way up there to be side by side of Jake Hooker. And it looks like Jake Hooker just got into the back of the 21, causing a caution.
Well, that definitely not the greatest move to have on the racetrack, that's for sure. Jake a little hard into the back of that RH21 machine, and definitely comes out on the short end of that stick as well.
Same
the 29.
Doris LaJeunesse looks like he got into that.
Sorry, that's the 29 car.
Oh, the 29
of Ryan Bonner.
Sorry.
He had nowhere to go, trying to bring it to a stop there. So Jake Hooker has made his way to the pit area. So that puts the RH21 after that great restart. He is now to the point. And Spielman now hits that second position.
And then we got the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. in third, followed by the 38D of Doris LaJeunesse. believe that rounds out our top 5. Sorry to cut you off, Dean, but it actually looks like Rob Young is driving the 29 late model tonight. It's not Ryan Bonner. So Rob Young is, it's Ryan Bonner's father-in-law, but it looks like he is back behind the wheel. He normally drives the 48 late model, which I'm not sure's been out too many times this year. Here we go, we're going back to green.
Brian Spielman in the 22, he will lead that lap. He's a guy that we have talked about many, many times in the 22, having a great run so far this season. But it is the RH21 of Greg Haskell taking that spot away as they head back down through 3 and 4.
I always love to see a good battle with leaders, and the RH21 and the 22 look to be battling back and forth every lap. And it looks like we got a caution going into turn 1 and 2.
Few cars around. It looks like the 73 of Kyle Hope, the 06 of Jordan Van Hall, and the 26 of JJ Bulio all involved. JJ rolling away in the 26. So still some track issues down there at the bottom of 1 and 2. Seems to be a little slick for these guys still. Green flag in hand back for Greg Haskell in the RH21.
By the 22S of Brian Spielman and the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. We got the 53 of Brad Simpson that's creeping his way up there.
So about as we figured, the RH21 starting to pull out just a little bit on the front of this first feature event. Has a couple cars now ahead of the 22 of Brian Spielman, and then about 8 cars back to Jim Dale Jr. in the 00 machine. I believe that is Justin Martin in the 53H. Kind of hard to tell. They both look almost identical, but a lot of these other guys, Lash and S, also moving up through the field in the 38 car.
Even the 26 of JJ looks like he's making his way from last place. And we got the 05 of Mike Lewis turned around, but he was able to make it off the track before a caution was pulled. Well, they threw the caution anyway. Unless there's another reason why they threw the caution, we'll get that figured out.
Well, caution out, caution out. The 05 of Mike Lewis came around there in 3 and 4, seemed to get things rolling, but before we got him back in line, caution comes out, so it looks like he will make his way to the to the pits. Been dealing with some issues on that 05 machine since that contact earlier on this feature. So again, another driver, just still a long way to go. We're just about halfway, I believe, in this first feature, but that's another 20 laps these guys have to do later on tonight, and maybe for those 20 laps we'll get this crazy Texan up here.
And that's why you got to figure out, you don't know if they're going off because they're broken or they're going off because they don't want to risk it because they want to make it to the next race. But while we were talking, the 73 seems to have come back. I believe he went off the track and he just came back on to finish this race. Getting ready here to take the green with the RH21 of Greg Haskell still in the lead, followed by the 22S of Brian Spielman and the 00D. Oh, it looks like the 7 of Brent Kobe got a little sideways, but he was able to make it out. But him getting sideways has caused the 53 to kind of slow down. The 53H of Justin Martin and the 06 of Jordan. Nope, is it the 06? No, the 26. Sorry. Nope, it's the 06. The 06 of Jordan Van Hall.
So I'm enjoying the fact that Morgan is struggling a little bit up here because it's not all glamour all night long. But we're going to go back to green here in our late model feature.
Looks like the 53 of Brad Simpson kind of went into the rough a little bit, but he was able to pull back, but he has gone back a couple of cars.
Well, halfway that time by for race leader Haskell as he stretches things out once again as we continue to roll on under green here. Still lots of feature action to come. Spielman second, Dale in third. Caution out, we've got a car around. That was the 11 of Brad Bloomfield. Brad comes around pretty hard by himself down there on the bottom, jumped the berm on the bottom of the racetrack, and that 11 comes to a stop down there at the bottom of turn number 2. Well, under that last caution, we had a visitor up here in the booth. I want to say hello to Gene joining us from Trailer Parkers, Real Texas Barbecue. He's down there in the fan. If you see the gentleman in the cowboy hat,
he's not hard to miss.
Yeah, give him a big howdy, and then just get him to say something with that Texas accent. It's kind of fun to listen to him chit-chat. So, Gene, wherever you are, hope you enjoy yourself this evening. All the gang from Trailer Parkers joining us tonight. Glad you're here with us. I'm a little upset you didn't bring ribs, though. We'll talk about that later.
And he was mentioning to us he has 2 cars out there, the 53s. He is rooting for Brad Simpson and Justin Martin.
Yeah, local restaurants supporting local racers here at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, as many businesses do. We do appreciate all of the sponsors here, big and small, as we get ready to go back to green inside a few laps here of our first late model feature.
Looks like we're down to 1 lap. The white flag has been out, and our leader is still the RH21 of Greg Haskell, followed by the 22S of Brian Spielman and the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. There we are. The double checkered is going out, and it looks like we rounded off once again. The RH21 of Greg Haskell, the 22S of Brian Spielman, the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. The 7 of Brent Kobe, the 53 of Brad Simpson, the 53H of Justin Martin, the 26 of JJ Bulio, the, what number we got? The 11 of Brad Bloomfield, the 00 of Mike Dale, and rounding off, we have the 06 of Jordan Van Hall that seems to be parked back there on the backstretch. We have the safety crew or the push trucks going to see what's going on there. But that rounds off our first late model feature of the night. Next, I believe we're going to be getting into our first heat race, which will be the modifieds.
Just discussing things here as the moon starts to come up. We see on the backstretch there, and it's not officially a full moon. So I know things can get a little squirrely sometimes under the full moon, but seeing as that it is not an official full moon, it's just a big one. Things should stay good here as we continue on. Just a little thumbnail missing off the moon there, so we're good. Hopefully everything will stay as calm as can be So that's our first feature in the books, but we still have a ton of racing to get to here, including all 5 of our divisions here for their heat races to start the night. As Morgan mentioned, modifieds will be coming up first. They are down there in the chute. I forgot to mention early on, but if you need safety glasses or earplugs, make sure you head on down. We do have those available in the concession or the souvenir booth. I know we're getting a little low on earplugs, but we do have safety glasses, so not much of a dust issue tonight. Thankfully, the wind blowing in the right direction.
Just getting confirmation. We were waiting for the 22S, which looks like he is pulling on the track right now. Back to those safety glasses. If you need them, get them soon, because I know last week we ran out. So if you buy them, just try to keep them safe and bring them back every week. The supply is a little slim when it comes to safety glasses.
So heat race number 1 on the racetrack for our modifieds. Joel Dick, Patrick Lajeunesse will bring these guys to green for heat race number 1 in our Shinkles Gourmet Meat Modified. So Joel Dick leads the way for lap number 1 here in our first heat race. 8 laps the distance. 8 cars back to Patrick Lajeunesse in the 98P, and then Mario Toniolo gives chase.
Pat Lajeunesse and the 14 of Mario Toniolo battling for that second place.
Well, Mario in the 14 has definitely been picking things up here as of late. Takes that second spot away from Lajeunesse. Drew Smith looking to get into the mix inside that top 3 as well.
Definitely got some good battling action going on back in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place of this race. Love to see some clean racing.
Lajeunesse tries to get that spot back from Toniolo in the 14. As Spielman looks to do battle with Drew Smith in the 86. So any one of these guys here trying to get to that 2nd and 3rd spot. Again, Lajeunesse looks to the inside, but Toniolo with a great run out of 4 holds onto that 2nd position as Joel Dick stretches it out. Almost a full back stretch now as we get down to 1 lap to go here in our first modified heat race.
Still, we got the 28K of Tate O'Leary that's still making his way around there. He's quite a young guy, and he's been doing really well in his first year of modifieds. Here we are, we're throwing the checkered. Looks like we're going to end with the 09D of Joel Dick, the 14 of Mario Toniolo, followed by the 98P of Pat Lajeunesse. I believe it was the 22S of Brian Spielman, 86 of Drew Smith, and the 28K of Tate O'Leary. Just from experience knowing, Tate O'Leary has raced quite a few different classes. He has raced in the mini mods, he has raced in the late models, the modifieds, he's done some asphalt, he's had the 77 truck out here quite a few times. Those boys definitely got experience in a bunch of different classes and a bunch of different tracks. Here we are with our 2nd modified feature of the night. We got on the pole, we have the 6M of Justin Mills, followed by the 11 of Phil Villaranda. The 2nd row on the inside, we got the 43 of Brad McLeod. Beside him, we have the 5X of Tim Richardson and the 313 of Clayton Smith. That will be our lineup for our 2nd modified heat race. We're going to be coming around to the green here. this race. The 6M of Justin Mills has pulled out the lead, and the 11 of Phil Villaranda takes a turnaround in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Doesn't look like he can get that car going in time, and they are going to throw the caution. It seems that turn 1 and 2 is our slick corner tonight, because most cautions we have had tonight has happened in turn 1 and 2. I know last week turn 3 and 4 was, well, it was the corner that nobody was having luck with, but tonight it seems to be 1 and 2. The 11 of Phil Villaranda has turned around, and he is going to take the tail of the field to get this race back in action. Here we go. That 6M of Justin Mills has pulled ahead to keep the lead on this first lap following the caution. The 313 of Clayton Smith is fighting for that second place spot, fighting with that 43 of Brad McLeod. I just want to start out a reminder for our spectators to please stay back from the fence. It is a safety thing, so please can you keep back from the fence. On a second note, it looks like the 5X of Tim Richardson and the 11 of Phil Villaranda has gotten into it in turn 1 and 2. Phil is not having any luck tonight. This is the second caution this race that he has been involved in. Let's hope there's no damage on that car and he can get back out there.
This heat race, we will make a couple draws as Justin Mills, Brad McLeod, and Clayton Smith continue on here for heat race number 2.
And it does look like the 11 of Villaranda is going to continue this race, and we have 4 cars left. We got our first lap in after that last caution. The 6M of Justin Mills is still taking the lead on this race, followed by the 43 of Brad McLeod and the 313 of Clayton Smith. Their next lap around, they're going to be taking the white flag. We have taken the white flag. There's 1 lap to go. The checkered has fallen, and the 6M of Justin Mills will be your heat race winner, followed by the 43 of Brad McLeod, the 313 of Clayton Smith, and the 11 of Phil Villaranda.
Well, good run for the 43 of Brad McLeod, coming home in second. I know not always a fan of drier track conditions, so he's right on the middle here tonight for his setup stuff. Justin Mills in the 6M with a few good runs so far this season in the 6M, so no surprise there. All right, race fans, get your door prize tickets out. We're going to make a couple draws here. If you have a blue ticket 015565, 105565 on a blue ticket, and on a yellow ticket 100514. Head on down to the bottom of the tower, the stairs there, and we will get you your prizes. The yellow ticket 100514, and on a blue ticket 105565.
All right, we are going to get you the lineup here before we're trying to get it in before we go green. Our pole sitter is the J2 of James Kelly, side by side with the 26 of Matthew Newell. Second row on the inside, the N64 of Dylan Bonner, followed by the 54 of Chris French. Third row on the inside, the 64 of Nick Erskine. Beside the 747 of Ryan Billio, and then the 50 of Ken Fraser with the 8 of Barry Westman. That N64 kind of got into the rough in the bottom of turn 3 and 4, but he was able to save it and continue going without causing a caution.
Well, no surprise to see that 26 of Matt Newell out front. He has been consistently the fast car here in our mini stock division. The 54 of French, he has gone into that second position. The J2 of James Kelly and the 747 of JJ Bullio battling for that third position. Looks like the 64 also getting up there. That's Nick Erskine. He's going to jump as the J2 of James Kelly has some issues to slow up the racetrack.
They're going to throw the caution because they had that J2 that was kind of in the middle of the track. So just to be safe, they threw the caution out.
So Erskine in the 64 tries to make a move for that third position on the outside of the 747 as they battle down through 3 and 4.
That 26 of Matthew Newell has got quite the lead with the second place 54 of French, followed by the 64 of Nick Erskine. They are showing the halfway, so I believe that's 4 laps to go. I believe it's 8 laps for a heat race. Chris French seems to be having some issues with that car as he rides the top of the backstretch, putting the 64 of Erskine in second place. I believe our flagman is saying that that car has a flat tire, so I believe the next time coming around he will be taking her to the pits. Got our last lap going here as the white flag is being waved. No, it looks like that 54 is going to attempt to finish off this race as he is going extremely slow on the top of turn 3 and 4. The checkered flag is gone with the 26 of Matthew Newell being your leader, the 64 of Nick Erskine, followed by the 747 of Ryan Billio. Followed by the 50 of Ken Fraser, the N64, of Dylan Bonner, and the 54 of Chris French, who I believe might have finished this lap on a flat tire. Here we go with our Heat 1 of the Mini Mod race. Our pole, we have the 91 of Austin Pickering, and beside him on the outside is the 18P of Mark. I do apologize, I can never remember how to pronounce his last name. Fallon, possibly. Second row on the inside, the 7 of Larry Hart. On the outside, you got the 16 of Evan Bonner. Third row on the inside, the 29J of Dave Johnson. Beside him, the 24 of Brian Coomans. Then we got the 06 of Jessica Van Hall, the 25 of Jason Turkington. We just took the first lap, and it looks like we got 2 cars that got into it that is going to cause a red flag. So all the drivers are going to stop on the track as the red flag is put out. There is quite a bit of race car parts on the track right now. So we're going to be taking the green coming here into turn 4. Like the 91 of Pickering has been able to keep the lead, doing the first lap after that caution. And you got the 16 of Evan Bonner was fighting for second place with the 7 of Larry Hart, but Bonner was able to pull away, taking that second place spot. The 18P seems to have fallen back a couple of spots. Bonner seems to be getting some catching up to our leader, 91 Pickering. We are hitting halfway with this first mini mod heat. 91 of Pickering is still your leader, followed by the 16 of Bonner, and our third place is the 7 of Hart. A big gap between our second and our third place in this race. But it looks like our flagman over here is given to go that we're going to come white on the next time around flag stand. Here drops the white flag, and we still have 91 of Pickering with the lead, followed by the 16 of Evan Bonner. 91 seems to be gaining some ground on the 06 of Jessica Van Hall, which is our last place person at the moment. We are going to finish this race with Pickering in the lead, 16 of Evan Bonner, followed by the 7 of Larry Hart, the 18P of Mark Fallon, and the 29J of Dave Johnson, and the 06 of Jessica Van Hall.
So that's going to do it for heat race number 1. Still looking for our junior prize here on a blue ticket, 105565. On a blue color ticket, 105565. Come on down to the stairs of the tower. See me, we'll get you hooked up with that prize. And already given away 1 Subway gift card here tonight, as well as some Quick Wick product. I want to thank Maple City Mini Storage for donating some prizes here tonight. Happy to get some goodies out here to our loyal race fans. Glad you're with us as we get ready to roll here for heat race number 2 in our Great Lakes Gymnastics mini mods.
Looks like our pole sitter is the 52 of Austin Turkington. Beside him is the 87 of Kyle Gill. Our second on the inside is a 28K of Caleb O'Leary. Beside him is the E46 of Dustin Burke. The third on the inside, the 56 of Gerald Underwood. Beside him is the 21 of Rick Balson, the 31 of Marshall Herregers, and the 46 of Wes Bertozzi. Safety crew on our way up there right now to see what's going on. Hoping that car will still be able to finish this race. All right, we're going to be taking the green here with Herregers, the 31 as your leader. That 46 of Wes Bertozzi has creeped up there into second place, just starting this green flag. Followed by the 28K of Caleb O'Leary, Looks like we're coming around in 2 laps to go. The 31 of Herregers has seemed to pull a good lead following this race, followed once again by the 46 of Bertozzi and the 28K of Caleb O'Leary. Our flag man waving the white flag. One more lap and we'll see how this race finishes. So we got that 31 of Herregers taking that checkered flag, followed by the 46 of Bertozzi, the 28K of O'Leary, the E46 of Burke, the 52 of Austin Turkington, and the 56 of Gerald Underwood. And that will be your finish running order for the mini mod, the second heat race of the night. And we're going to be getting into our third mini mod heat race. Bring on our third mini mod heat race of the night. We're going to start with the 23D of Joel Desjardins. Beside him is going to be the N64 of Dylan Bonner. Our second row on the inside, we're going to have the 8M of Sean McNally. Beside him, the 78B of Brad Bowden. I apologize if I get it wrong. The third on the inside, the 14 of JD Hack. Beside him, the 7X of Andrew Fowler. The 73 of Dan Loveday, and the 62 of Harley.
Well, lap number 1 in the books for our mini mod heat race number 2. Out front, it is the N64 of Dylan Bonner. Heat race 3. Obviously missed the whole heat race there. We're going to go on heat race number 3 here. Nate McNally runs second. Andrew Fowler quick through the field to that third position in the 7X. Sean McNally. His dad, Nate McNally, used to be a driver, and for some reason I can't get that out of my head. Sean McNally behind the wheel of the 8, trying to gain some ground on our race leader. A little further back, Joel Desjardins and JD Hack in the 14 battle for that 4th position. Already to the halfway point here for heat race number 3. Dylan Bonner, the N64, starts to gain even more ground at the point. Fowler now looks to the inside of McNally as they head down the backstretch. He tries to take that second spot away. Inside 2 laps to go here. Sorry, down to the final lap this time by.
It looks like the N64 is going to lap the 73. Is that the 73? 73 of Dan Loveday. Apologies, the 78B of Brad Bodwin. I'll get these right eventually.
Oh, the names are going to come and go, but battle for the second position. Looks like Fowler will take that spot away from McNally as they head down the backstretch now. Not much time left for him to try and track down race leader Bonner in the N64 with one more time around the Speedway. Fowler with a good run, starting a little further back in the field from that 3rd row. He's made his way to the 2nd spot, but not enough time to get it done here. It will be Dylan Bonner in the N64 as the checkered flag comes out for heat race number 3. 2nd place, Andrew Fowler. 3rd place to Sean McNally in the 8 car. And a little further back there to the 4th position of JD Hack.
Will round up our mini mod heat races for the night, and I believe we're going to be followed. We're going to bring those late models back out to start their heat races.
So as I mentioned, lots and lots of racing action to go. Just about ready to go, as we mentioned, the late models with lots and lots of action to go here tonight, and they will start their heat race here in the Andre Lanoux M for Auto Sales Great Lakes Division.
So I'm going to give you your lineup here. We have on the pole, we have the 66 of Tyler Lozon. Beside him, we have the 11B of Brad Bloomfield. 2nd row on the inside, we have the 87 of Reed Gill. The 20 of Dane Malott will round out your 2nd row. Your 3rd row on the inside, we have the 05 of Mike Lewis. Beside him, the 19D of Don Douglas. And then our last row, we have the 22S Brian Spielman on the inside. On the outside, we have the 1A Brad Authier's car, which once again is being driven by Jay Cooker. Our first lap here, it looks like the 19 of Don Douglas has spun around in turn 4. They are going to throw the caution out as he has not gotten that car going. And it looks like that under that, we have a caution over in turn 1 and 2. The 20 of Malott and the 22S of Brian Spielman seems to have gotten into it. Not quite sure what happened there, as I was over here looking at Don Douglas in turn 3 and 4. But the 22S of Brian Spielman's going to get that car turned around. And I believe the 20 of Malott is just waiting for the cars to go by so he can make the turn around and get back in this lineup as well. And here the cars come going into turn 4, and we're going to go green, green, green. Tyler Lozon is a little spread out here with our cars. These late models have got a lot of speed. We got the 1A of Jake Hooker creeping up to that 05 of Mike Lewis and battling for that second place. We are coming into our halfway, which means I believe we'll have 4 laps to go. The 1A of Hooker has seemed to pass Lewis of the 05, taking the second place. Waving the white flag. We got 1 lap to go with Lozon, the 66, still in the lead, followed by 1A of Hooker and 05 of Lewis. Our checkered flags dropped with 66 of Lozon, 1A of Hooker, 05 of Lewis, 11B of Bluefield, 22S of Spielman, and the 19 of Douglas. That is going to round out our first late model heat race. We're going to keep the ball rolling, and that second late model heat race is coming onto the track now. Our pole sitter is the 00 of Mike Dale, and beside him is the 34 of Jim Jones. Our second row, the 43 of Cody Vandewinkle, the 73 of Kyle Hope. Third row on the inside, you got the 53H of Justin Martin. On the outside of him, you have the 26 of JJ Bullio. Fourth row on the inside, the 53 of Brad Simpson, and beside him is the 311 of Sam Panaccio. I know we got corrected on how to pronounce that, and I really hope I got it right this time. Cars are coming into turn 4, and we're going to take the green. We got our first lap into the books, and the 43 of Cody Vandewinkle has appeared to be pulling out into first place, followed by the 34 of Jimmy Jones and the 00 of Mike Dale. Vandewinkle seems to have a pretty good lead, but back here in fourth place we got the 53 and the 26 battling, as the 73 of Kyle Hope has dropped back a couple of cars. And the caution is going to come out for the 53. The 53H of Justin Martin has turned around in turn 2, which is going to bring that caution out. No hesitation with that 43 of Vandewinkle getting the speed to get back up there, but Jimmy Jones he's getting there, and he's going to give him a run for his money. You got the 26 of Bullio creeping up there as well as he battles the 73 of Hope for that third place spot. We got the white flag coming out. There's going to be 1 lap here to go in our second late model heat of the night. legs coming out. 43 of Vandewinkle takes the win, followed by the 34 of Jones and the 26 of Billio. The 73 of Hope, the 53 of Brad Simpson. Followed by the 00 of Mike Dale, and I'm not sure about the 53H and the 311, about who finished behind the 00. We do have another late model heat. It'll be our third and final heat for the late models. Your first place car on the inside is a 29 of Ryan Bonner. Beside him is the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. Your second row on the inside is the 06 of Jordan Van Hall. Beside him, you have the 7 of Brent Covey. Our third row on the inside, the 38D of Doris LaJeunesse. Outside, you got the 36 of Hoekstra, and then you got the RH21 of Greg Haskell. So I am going to apologize. That 36 car is John Pinsino, who normally races the 0 late model. And here we go. We're going to take the green. So we're going to round out the first lap here with the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. in first, and the 06 of Van Hall and the RH21 of Haskell fighting for that second place. And it looks like Haskell managed to get around that 06 of Van Hall. And you got that 38D of LaJeunesse pulling up to get into that fight. And the 36 of Pinsey seems to be making some ground as well. The RH21 of Haskell, he has gained some ground in battle for first place with that 00D of Jim Dale Jr. And it looks like Haskell's taking the inside and is managing to pass him, taking that first place. But it looks like the caution is going to go out. Caution happening in turn 1 over here. The 29 of Ryan Bonner has spun around in turn 1. I know that Haskell did pass the 00D, but I believe we will go back a lap, and the 00D will take that first place spot and will need to battle again with Haskell. That 29 Bonner has managed to turn to the front, and he is going to stay in this race. Here, but we got the 06 of Jordan Van Hall that has turned around on the back stretch. So that caution is going to come out again. So your current leader, the 00D, has managed to keep that first place spot coming into this caution, followed by the RH21 of Haskell and the 38D of LaJeunesse. Here we go. We're going nose to tail, and they are going to take the green coming into turn 4. The 00D, Jim Dale Jr. as your current leader. There is quite the battle for third place with that 36 of Pinsey and the 38 of LaJeunesse. But it looks like here that RH21 of Haskell has managed to get by the 00D to the lead. But that 00D is not giving up. There's quite a battle for our top 3 drivers. The 38D of LaJeunesse has gone a little loose on that backstretch. It has dropped back. I believe the 38D of LaJeunesse is going to take the infield. Our white flag as we turn into turn 4 is coming with your leader of RH21 of Haskell, followed by the 36 of Pinsey and the 00G of Jindale Jr. Our checkered here, the RH21 of Haskell is your winner, followed by the 36 of Pinsey, the 00D of Dale, the 7 of Brent Kobe, and the 29 of Ryan Bonner. Our first heat is coming out, and on your pole, you're going to have the 96T of Todd Shaw, which I believe is the current points leader. Beside him is the 76 of Jeff Drummond. Your second row on the inside, you got Steve Shaw, followed by the 92 of Paige Lanoux. Our third row on the inside, the 93 of Nathaniel Greenaway. Beside him, you got the 43 of Gerald Martin. Our fourth row on the inside, you got the 5G of Gord Grant. Beside him, the 47B of Mitchell Brusso. And the 36 of, I believe it is Alan Real that will be driving that car tonight, and that will round out our first Thunderstock heat race.
Well, we'll see if the high can continue for Todd Shaw, coming off his first feature win last week at the 96T. He starts on the pole here, looking to get it done again for our Westside Performance Thunderstocks.
First lap in this heat race, and Todd Shaw seems to have hit the infield going into turn 2, but he's going to get that car turned around and he's going to get back out there. But that's going to put the 92 of Paige Lanoux as our leader, followed by the 43 of Gerald Martin, and the 96 of Steve Shaw in third place.
So Paige Lanoux in the 92, another one looking for her first checker flag of the season, doing battle with the veteran Gerald Martin behind her in the 43 car with Steve Shaw now looking to mix things up to that top spot as well.
At 43 of Gerald Martin is creeping up pretty quickly, but can the 92 of Lanoux hold him off? It looks like the 47 of Mitchell Russo has got some smoke, but I'm pretty sure he's had some in the past, and it's nothing to worry about. Martin kind of got a little loose going in the corner, which put him back a few cars. But that 92 of Lanoux is now fighting with the 96 of Steve Shaw for that first place. As we are coming around and 2 laps to go. Like the 96 of Shaw is getting quite a lead coming into turn 3 and 4 as we are going to be taking the checkered flag. So it is going to be the 96 of Shaw, followed by the 92 of Lanoux and 43 of Gerald Martin. Then you got the 5 of Gord Grant, the 73 of Jeff Drummond, and the 36 of Alan Rio. Our last little bit here, we're going to have, that might be the 96T of Todd Shaw, the 47B of Mitchell Brusso, and the 93 of Nathaniel Greenaway. That is going to round up your first Thunderstock heat race.
So great run by the 92 of Paige Lanoux. She comes home second after a good strong battle from the beginning. beginning there with battling with Steve Shaw. So she continues to progress so far as the season rolls on. We're going to roll right into heat race number 2 for Westside Performance Thunderstocks.
So we're going to get our pole sitter, which is the 93F of Kelvin Fox. On the outside of him, the 93K of Mike Blazinga. The second row on the inside, the 8X of Adam Trotcham. Beside him, the 75 of Ryan Berry. Our third row on the inside, you got the 42 of Matt Wilson. On the outside, you got the 90A of Andrew Below. The fourth on the inside, you got the 444 of Brian Brady. Beside him on the outside, you got the 30 of Laura Othier, and then you got the 16 of Scott Soup. Now that I got the right pronunciation for his name. We're going to be taking the green as we come in to turn 3 and 4 to get this heat race on the go.
Suit comes around in turn number 2, but gathers it together. He will continue on in the 16 car, just a couple nights behind the wheel of that machine.
Looks like that 93K of Blazinga is having some issues as he slows down coming out of turn 4 onto the front stretch. He is going to attempt to take it in the infield as the 16 of Scott Suit comes around and manages to get by him, and we are going to stay green.
Well, that certainly could have ended worse as the 93 of Blazinga made his way down across the track, but no worse for wear as we continue on. He came to a pretty low up down through 3 and 4. We continue on with Calvin Fox, now your race leader, followed by Andrew Mayhew and Barry in the 75.
Got that 16 of Suit still kind of trying to get around that corner, but he's still able to get it together. The 16 of Suit is being told that he has a flat tire, and he's going to attempt to make it into the infield.
Well, if ever there was a bad tire to go down, certainly a left rear isn't going to do you any good, so he pulls to the infield. Calvin Fox, though, out front, starts to pull away just a little bit from Andrew Mayhew, who's having a strong run in that second spot. Right rear tire, not left rear. I've been teaching my 5-year-old lefts and rights, and obviously I'm not doing too well as another right rear goes down on the 75 car of Barry. So having some issues here for a couple of these drivers trying to keep these tires together.
But we are going to throw the checkered, and your winner of this race is that 93 of Kelvin Fox, followed by Andrew Mayhew, and the 444 of Brian Brady. After that, we got the 30 of Laura Othier. Now we'll write out your top 4.
So Calvin Fox has definitely progressed and gotten better as the season has gone on. Looking for big things tonight for the feature. So that brings us to intermission, race fans. Get up, stretch your legs just a little bit. We will have a few minutes here for a break before we get underway with our feature action tonight.
All right, we're going to bring the late models on the field for our feature race tonight. We have an 11-car field. Your pole sitter right now is the 86 of Drew Smith. The outside of him, you're going to have the 22S of Brian Spielman. Our second row on the inside, we got the 6M of Justin Mills.
beside him, we have the 14 of Mario Toniolo. On the third row on the inside, we have Brad McLeod, and beside him, we have the 09D of Joel Dick. Our fourth row on the inside, we're going to have Phil Villaranda, and outside of him, the 28 of Tate O'Leary. Our fifth row on the inside, we have the 98P of Patrick Lajeunesse. Beside him, the 5X of Tim Richardson. And to round out our field, we'll have the 313 of Clayton Smith. They are lined up according to their point standing, as this is their season championship. It is going to be a 20-lap race. As they're coming to turn 3, we are going to drop the white flag. We're going to have one flag to go to start our first feature of the night. I know that 86 of Drew Smith has been running pretty good this year. A lot of these drivers have been having quite a bit of luck, and they are super fast. Side by side, nose to tail. Coming into turn 3, you got that 86 of Drew Smith and that 22S of Brian Spielman that are going to be taking the green. Here we go, race fans. We are going to go, go, go. We got the 5X of Tim Richardson, and the 313 of Clayton Smith just had nowhere to go. So the caution is going to come out. It doesn't look like any of the cars really hit anybody, so I don't believe there is any damage. The 313 of Smith, of Clayton Smith is going. Here we go, coming around turn 4, and we are going to drop that green, and we're going to go, go, go. Got the 86 Smith still holding up that lead, followed by the 6M of Justin Mills taking the second place, as we have a battle for third with the 09D of Dick and the 43 of McLeod. It looks like the 11 of Villaranda is going to take the infield off of the backstretch. The 09D has managed to take that third place Toniolo battling for fourth. The 22S of Spielman seems to be making some ground after that last caution. Followed by the 28 of Tate O'Leary. That was some great racing out there tonight. I know that 86 has been running pretty good this year. So we're going to bring the top three out here, and we got Dean down on the front stretch. He's going to interview these drivers for you tonight. just going to give them a second and let them get out of their cars.
Well, top 3 down on the track here for our modified championship race. Drivers just climbing out of the race cars. We're going to jump in here with our 3rd place finisher. Justin Mills, could you hurry up? Come on. Taking his time, Justin Mills in the 6M finished his 3rd tonight. Climbing out of the machine here, getting ready to go. Yeah. Come on over here, Justin. Let's chit-chat just a little bit. Now, I'm sure 3rd might not be the desired finish position for this evening, but not a bad run for the 6M. I'll give you a minute to get whatever you're doing there. 3rd place finish tonight. Track conditions better than last week, but tell us about your run tonight.
That was all right, a little rough coming out of 4, kind of screwed me up a little bit, but hey, all's good.
Anybody you want to say hi to? You got the crew here tonight. You got lots of sponsors. You've been running strong all season, doing pretty good.
Yeah, we got to thank everybody on the car and the crew, and wouldn't happen without all them. So.
No names?
Oh, Napoleon, 2 brothers, R.A. Shanks Accounting, Cottingham Tire, Ideal Pipe. Grandpa.
Well, there he is, Justin Mills, your 3rd place finisher tonight. We're gonna jump in here with the bridesmaid this evening, or the runner-up, or however you want to call it, Hollywood Joel Dick. Again, probably the same as Justin, not where you wanted to finish, but a good run in 2nd.
Yeah, you know what? It's good. We'll take it. Started 6th, so car's still not right since we got in a wreck there a couple weeks ago. So bottoming out in every corner, and we still just got up on the wheel and gave her. That's all we can do.
So obviously a little bit different from last week as far as track conditions and stuff go. What are you thinking of track tonight?
Oh, much better. 90% better.
We're getting there, working away on. Anybody you want to say hi or thanks to coming out here tonight?
Absolutely. Just everybody who comes out here. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thanks to all the fans. You guys are awesome. And eat some Domino's pizza.
Well, there it is. Joel Dick coming home 2nd. And we are going to come on over here with our feature winner tonight. Bring that hardware over here with the gang from Trailer Parkers. Drew Smith, tonight's feature winner. Drew, getting it done again here in the 86. You got the fan club up here. What's going on with this feature win tonight?
Just start up front, and you got some tough competition, so you just try to keep her where you can.
Not much of a talker, are you?
Not usually at all. I just like to drive.
Hey, driving's good. Obviously, you've got that down to a science. A couple feature wins tonight, or not tonight, but this season, and looking for big things in the shootout?
We'll see. We'll see what comes.
Anybody you want to say hi or thanks to? I know you got the gang back here, and obviously Tiny Pratt. Is he? How's he doing over there?
Tiny is here somewhere tonight, so we're glad to see that he made it back to the track. Obviously, a little bit of a scare last weekend for us, but we're glad to have him back. And as far as people, I got Chase helps out hardcore with the car, Jason, Jackson, my dad. Obviously, my wife and kids just giving up the time so we can be out here doing this, and all the fans in the stands. John, Nancy, there's sponsors all over the car that help us get here every week, and that's what it takes.
Getting it done. We got some trophies here for you from Trailer Parkers. Tonight's feature winner, Drew Smith.
Just a reminder, race fans, our race cars are coming on the track, so we do need you to back up from the fence, please. Stay back from the fence as the race cars are on the track. Thank you. All right, we got our mini stock feature heading onto the track right now. Your first place on the inside in the front row is the 26 of Matthew Newell. The outside in the first row, the 64 of Nick Erskine. You got the second row on the inside, you got the 747 of Ryan Billio. Beside him, you got the 50 of Ken Frazier. Our third row on the inside, we got the N64 of Dylan Bonner. On the outside, the 8 of Barry Westman. And And our last row, the fourth row on the inside, the 54 of Chris French and the J2 of James Kelly. As we're coming into turn 3, and we are going to take the green on this lap. And the third place right now, we got the 747 of Willio. The flagman there was just giving a warning to the 50 just to make sure that he is watching how he is driving for the safety of others. The 26 of Newell is holding the lead as we continue this race. The 50 of Fraser and the J2 of Kelly battling for that fourth place. And it looks like the N64 of Dylan Bonner is taking the infield. Looks like there is some issues with that car. Turn 3 and 4, we had the J2 that went a little bit sideways, but he was able to get a handle on it. The 50 of Fraser is being told that he has a flat tire as he will enter the infield. The 26 of Newell is passing lapped traffic as he comes around the corner. Still followed by the 64 of Erskine and the 747 of Willio. Got Newell coming up to that 8 of Sean McNally, which is going to be a lapped car. As we hit halfway coming past the flag stand. A pretty good lead of the second place 64 of Erskine. As he's still coming up to the back of the field. 64 of Erskine. Nope, sorry, the 54. Our flag man is hit right now that we got 2 laps to go. The 26 of Newell is still your leader, followed by the 64 of Erskine, my apologies, and the 747 of Willio. And as the checkered cut out, your feature winner is the 26 of Matthew Newell, followed by the 64 of Nick Erskine and the 747 of Ryan Willio. And unfortunately, I do not have the rest of the lineup. I do apologize.
Well, we got a break in the action after our mini stock feature. Want to congratulate Brianna from Wallaceburg. She picked up our 50-50 winnings tonight. $1,300 to the winner. Thanks again for supporting the Chatham-Kent Children's Safety Village. We also got to give a big happy birthday to Connor. Connor is here celebrating his 8th birthday today with us at the racetrack. So Connor, happy birthday. Hope you're having fun tonight, and hope you guys enjoy the winnings from the 50-50.
So here shortly, we are bringing out the Mini Mod feature. Their championship night will be next week. So to round out our field, our pole sitter tonight is the 91 of Austin Pickering, and on the outside of him, you got the 31 of Marshall Horregers. Our second row on the inside, you got the N64 of Dylan Bonner. Outside of him, you have the 16, his brother, of Evan Bonner. The third row on the inside, you got the 46 of Wes Bertozzi, followed by the 7X of Andrew of Fowler. Our fourth row on the inside, you got the 7 of Larry Hart, and outside of him, you got the 28K of Caleb O'Leary. Our fifth row on the inside, you have the 8M of Sean McNally. Beside him, you have the 18P of Mark Fallon. The sixth row on the inside, the E46 of Dustin Burke. Beside him on the outside, you got the 14 of JD Hack. The seventh row on the inside, the 29J of Dave Johnson, and beside him, the 52 of Austin Turkington. You got the 8th row on the inside, you got the 23D of Joel Desjardins, beside him the 06 of Jessica Van Hall. Our 9th row on the inside, we have the 56 of Gerald Underwood. Beside him, you got the 62 of Harley Hornick. The 10th row on the inside, the 24 of Brian Coomans. Beside him, you got the 21 of Rick Fallison. The 11th row on the inside, the 73 of Dan Loveday. Beside him, the 25 of Jason Turkington. And our final row, you got the 87 of Kyle Gill, and on the outside, the 78B of Brad Bodwin.
So the Great Lakes Gymnastics Mini Mods pacing their way around before their feature here. It has been a big class so far this season with lots of great car counts. We've had some great features. Marshall Horregers so far has been the class of the field in that Dutchman Motorsports 31 machine with a few feature wins on the season. Wes Bertozzi finally got his first feature of the season last week in the 46 car. We've also had the N64 making a trip to victory lane along with the 91 of Austin Pickering. So lots of good cars starting out front here for this mini mod feature, and it will definitely be anyone's guess as to who the feature winner could be 20 laps from now in our Great Lakes Gymnastics mini mods.
I'm gonna go after the next championship.
first lap in the books, and Marshall Horregers is your race leader. Evan Bonner giving chase in the 16 machine as they head down the backstretch. Dylan Bonner in the N64 runs third. Bit of a bad start for Sean McNally in the 8 as he's currently running in the 4th position. It looks like he might have missed a gear or something on that initial start. But he looks to get his way back to the front of the field. Starting to spread out already here in our Great Lakes Gymnastics mini mod. A good battle for second right now between the Bonner brothers as they look to track down the race leader. Dylan to the high side, Evan on the bottom as they come across the stripe here. Andrew Fowler running in that 4th position. As leaders now start to work into lap traffic, Van Hall and Bowman go down a lap to the race leaders. They will now look to the back of the 73 of Loveday. Horregers slowly stretching his lead out. Over Bonner in second as he comes up to the back of the 73, trying to make his way by that machine. Also put the 50 car down a lap, and it looks like the 62 of Harley Hornick, she's slowed down the front stretch. She comes around down there in turn number 2. We'll see if she can get it fired back up. Caution will come out. Caution out for the 62 of Harley Hornick as she comes around down the bottom of turn number 2. So that will definitely bunch this field up. Give the Bonner brothers a chance to get right to the back bumper of race leader Marshall Horregers. Once again, I just want to give a big shout out to Tiny Pratt joining us tonight. Part of the Smith Racing crew, had a bit of an accident here at the racetrack last week. Great job by our safety officials, Dan and the gang, helping things out, making things right, doing what they do best. Glad to have Tony back at the racetrack, enjoying some dirt in his drinks here tonight. So we're just about ready to go back to green for our mini mod feature. Fun watching our mini mods. You never know what's going to happen throughout the field. Horregers starts to pull away just a little bit, but for second place, McNally and Bonner still battling hard for that position. Both drivers this time running the bottom of the track. McNally smooth around the bottom, seems to be the line to run here so far.
Looks like the 28K of Caleb O'Leary is slowing down a bit here on the front track.
Caution out for the 28 of O'Leary. He has made his way to the pits down the backstretch there. We also have the 87 of Kyle Gill. He came to a stop down there in turn number 4. Looks like a right rear flat on that machine, so that's going to cut his feature short. He will get a push a little further on into the infield where he will get to watch the rest of this feature.
The 28K of Caleb O'Leary has made his way back out onto the track, taking the tail end of the field. Not sure what went on there, but I'm glad to see him back out. Hopefully be able to finish this race.
Also see the 62. She has made it back out onto the racetrack after making her way to the pits. So a couple drivers trying to get back into the action here for our Great Lakes Gymnastics mini mod feature. And we're just about ready to go back to green. Haregers will lead him around.
So far, 31 of Haregis has managed to keep the lead, followed by the 8 of McNally and the N64 of Dylan Bonner. We have the 91 of Pickering, the 7X of Fowler, fighting for that 4th place position.
Well, there has been talk of the 31 car jumping up into a late model coming up, whether it be later on this season or into next season. We're definitely looking forward to that to see if he can keep his smooth ways going in the late model division after dominating things here in the mini mods.
Got the 31 of Haregis coming up to latch traffic. So we're just going to warn Bodwin to just keep an eye out for the leaders that were coming. And it looks like the 8 of Sean McNally has slowed down in the top of turn 1 and 2. And he is going to exit the track. Oh, no, he's not going to exit the track. That'll put the N64 of Dylan Bonner in 2nd place behind the 31 of Haregis and the 7X of Fowler in 3rd. It looks like the 91 of Pickering is also having some issues on the backstretch and is slowing down. The 8 of McNally did manage to exit the track. And then over here, the caution is going to be thrown also for the 16 of Evan Bonner, has taken to the bottom of the field in turn 2.
One thing I will never understand, maybe since you've been a race car driver, you can help me. The 91 of Pickering was slow, drove past the exit of the racetrack. What goes through a driver's mind to stay on a racetrack knowing you have issues and then bringing out the caution?
Sometimes it's just really hard to give up the hope that the car is not broken, and it just gives you a little extra time to try to figure it out if you're able to race. But it does look like he has a really bad right rear flat.
Yeah, it's definitely a pet peeve. As a fan, you know, it's kind of frustrating sometimes when things are going good. All he had to do was pull off. But anyways, we got to keep going. Either way, we had the 16 of Evan Bonner. He came around over there in turn number 2, so we would have had a caution either way.
It's just hard because the last thing a driver wants is to not finish a race. So you keep every little hope that you possibly can.
It's a pain in the butt. That's all I know.
From a watcher's point of view, I agree. From a driver's point of view, it's completely different. Got the N64 of Dylan Bonner racing neck to neck with that 31 of Haregis. As the white flag comes out as we have 1 lap to go.
Well, one more time, Bonner to the bottom, try to make it stick, but Herregers with a good run off of 2. Down the back stretch they go. One more time through 3 and 4. Nothing that Bonner can do but follow the leader to the checkered flag. Marshall Herregers is your mini mod feature winner, followed by the N64 of Dylan Bonner and the 7X of Andrew Fowler. 1, 2, 3. So once again, Marshall Herregers, the Dutchman Motorsports 31 entry, picking up another feature win here at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, continues to lead things and the points. They'll be coming up on their championship race next week here at the racetrack. But we do have 2 more features left to go. Our late models getting ready to make their way out onto the racetrack for their championship race, championship feature race in just a couple minutes here.
Late models come onto the track. This is their championship night, so they are lined up by their point standing. Your points leader is the RH21 of Greg Haskell. Starting beside him, you got the 22S of Brian Spielman. Second row on the inside, the 05 of Mike Lewis. And on the outside of him, you have the 00D of Jim Dale Jr. Third row on the inside, you have the 43 of Cody Vandewinkle. On the outside of him, you have the 34 of Jimmy Jones. Our fourth row on the inside, you have a 29 of Ryan Bonner. 66 of Tyler Lozon will take the outside next to him. Fifth row on the inside, we have the 38D of Doris Lajeunesse. And beside him, you got the 06 of Jordan Van Hall. Sixth row on the inside, you got the 53 of Brad Simpson. And beside him, you have the 19D of Don Douglas. Seventh row on the inside, you got the 00 of Mike Dale. Beside him on the outside, you got the 7 of Brent Kobe. The 8th row on the inside, you got the 11B of Brad Bloomfield. On the outside of him, we'll start the 20 of Dane Malott. 9th row on the inside, you got the 26 of JJ Bolio, and the 53H of Justin Martin. The 10th row on the inside, you got the 73 of Kyle Hope and the 36 of Eugene Hoekstra. Nope, sorry. Once again, it's John Pinsino that is racing that 36 late model. On the 11, nope. Sorry, I do apologize. The 87 of Reed Gill, but the 1A of Jay Cooker and the 311 of Sam Panaccio will not be starting the feature tonight. Panaccio. I will get that right one of these days.
Once again, big shout out to Andre Lenuam for Auto Sales, our title sponsor here for our late model division. Good group of cars ready to go here for their 20-lap feature event tonight. Well, a definite advantage for Greg Haskell having the pole here for this feature event, but he has been hot as of late, so looking for big things out of the RH21. Spielman looking to continue his hot season in the 22, looking to get it done for his mom here tonight. Keep an eye on that 22 machine. Mike Lewis, Jim Dale, ready to go here for our late model feature.
followed by the 22 of Spielman. The 05 of Lewis and the 00 of Dale are fighting for that third place spot. Looks like one of the 53s got a little loose going into 3 and 4, but was able to turn it around. But the 00 of Mike Dale has turned himself around, bringing the caution out.
So things getting a little crazy over there in 3 and 4. Caution out for the 00 of Mike Dale, who did come to a stop on the bottom of the racetrack there. Things spreading out pretty quick here early on in this late model feature event. Well, Greg Haskell in the RH21 will bring these guys around Delaware style restart. Michael Lewis. Brian Spielman will double up behind him. Tyler Lozon still up in the mix there in the 66 car, as well as Cody Vandewinkle in the 43. Just discussing things here, wondering why it's called the Delaware style restart. We will have to Google that and find out. Not something I've ever thought about, but it is a good question as we are going to get to it here with Greg Haskell bringing them back to green in our late model feature.
Looks like the 7 of Brent Colby has got into it with the 06 of Van Hall up in turn 4.
Well, caution out as we do have a couple of cars around. Colby came across the front of Van Hall there. That certainly could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, Colby getting things woed up before he got too hard into the wall. Jordan Van Hall also involved in the 06 as he gets ready to roll just a little bit. Seeing the driver in the 07 moving around. Just the 7, not the 07, correct? Both of those guys look like they will be able to rejoin the field here. Some pretty good bent-up sheet metal there on the side of Colby's number 7. He's not exactly sure how that transpired, but both of those cars getting together as they came out of turn 4. As Colby in the 7 comes to a stop, we see some dirt piled up behind him. Looks like something probably broke after the contact. So he will need the hook on the front end of that 7 machine.
Something that I haven't noticed, I didn't know when he went off, but the 3rd and 4 of Jimmy Jones is sitting in the infield. I'm not sure what lap he went off, but I just noticed that. Get this race back in action. Looks like the 20 of Milan took a little bit of a shortcut in the infield. But we have the 26 of Julio down turn 1 and 2, causing this caution.
Looks like some pretty good damage on the front end of that machine. Not sure who he may have gotten into, but the nose all tore up on that thing. So JJ brings that to a stop. Maybe got into the back end of the, was it Kyle Gill that just made it through there? So not sure exactly what's going on with these drivers in the back, but some contact for sure.
have a very good view of turn 1 and 2, so we try our best to make out what happens when it happens down in that corner.
Well, thank goodness for our eye in the sky. Nick on top, giving us great views from atop the tower here as we get a look down into turn 1 and 2 from his vantage point. Are you getting a little chilly up there, Nick?
Yeah, she's brisk tonight.
So we heard from Nick, and he's saying it's getting a little brisk tonight out here.
Every caution, just right, every left.
We've taken the green. It looks like the 73 of Kyle Hope has backed up quite a bit, but he's getting that car going. The 73 of Kyle Hope has made it into the infield. Don't know what is going on there. But the RH21 of Haskell is Jim Dale Jr. of the 00D has made it into the wall in turn 3 and 4, which is going to bring the red flag.
Caution out, some hard contact there. We do see the window net coming down. Safety crew quick on scene as they always are. Well, he is climbing out of the car. Jimmy Dale making it out of the car under his own power there, so glad to see that after that hard lick into the wall. So we're just taking advantage, enjoying a little bit of popcorn here as we get ready to go back to green. Doubling up behind race leader Greg Haskell, Brian Spielman, Michael Lewis, and Tyler Lozon and Cody Van Winkle still with a strong run up inside the top 5 as we go back to green.
RH21 of Haskell did manage to get a little bit of a lead here on this restart. Still followed by the 22S of Spielman, and the 05 of Lewis is battling for third place with the 66 of Tyler Lozon. The 19D of Don Douglas is spun around here in the front stretch, so they are going to throw the caution.
So the issues that were on the 11 car of Brad Bloomfield continue as he, I believe, must have blown the motor. We see that liquid down the front stretch, and I believe that's why Don Douglas actually spun out, probably getting into what I have to bet is probably oil down there on the racetrack. So Bloomfield bringing that thing to the infield with a big old oil track down the front stretch here. So we'll take a minute to get that run in so we don't have any issues.
All right, we're getting the white flag as we had 12 laps to go in this late model season championship feature. current leader is still the RH21 of Haskell, with the 22 is Spielman and Lewis fighting for that second place position. Lewis has managed to get that second position spot, so you now have Spielman and Lozon fighting for third. They are neck and neck fighting for that third place position. The 66 of Tyler Lozon is turning around on the backstretch, which is going to bring the caution out. The good thing is he did not bring anybody else into that turnaround with him. Looks like the 38D of Doris Lajeunesse is in the infield as well. I'm not sure if that was recent or if he pulled off earlier in the race. But they are currently towing off the 7 of Brent Colby, who we know was in the infield earlier at the start of this race, but they are going to tow him off. We are still waiting for that 66 of Tyler Lozon to see if he's going to get moving or if he needs assistance. The 38D of Doris Lajeunesse has been having some issues with overheating this year, and I'm going to assume that is probably the issue, but I'm not 100% sure. They thought last week that they had it fixed because they did not have any overheating issues last week, but apparently it was just not ready to stop overheating. And it does look like the 66 of Lozon has made his way. He is getting himself turned around, and he will take the tail end of the field when the cars come back around. Your current leader is still the RH21 of Greg Haskell, followed by the 05 of Mike Lewis and the 22S of... I am sorry, I am getting the word from our race director that the 22S of Brian Spielman and the 66 of Tyler Lozon will be taking the tail end of the field following that caution. That will put the 43 of Cody Vandewinkle in the third place position. It does look like the 66 of Tyler Lozon and the 22S have gotten back into it, going into turn 1. So once again, we have 7 laps to go. Your current leader is the RH21 of Greg Haskell, who has been able to keep the lead so far, followed by the 05 of Mike Lewis and the 43 of Cody Vandewinkle. That does round up your top 3 as we do come back to the green, coming into turn 3 and 4. It's really neck to neck with the 05 of Lewis fighting for that second position as we hit 5 laps to go coming past the flag stand. Also, the 36 of John Pinsino is making his way up there to fight with the 05 and the 43. Looks like the 43 of Van Winkle has had quite a setback, but does he have enough time to make his way back up there? We got 2 laps to go in this championship late model feature. The caution is coming out. Don't know why yet,
I believe there's some debris up there in turn number 2. Got that cleaned up. We've got one more time around before we get these guys back to green to finish off this, let's call it an event-filled late model feature here tonight.
They did just announce we are going to be coming to green with a green-white checkered.
So 2 features on the night for the late models. Not working out too well for some of these guys here as temps have started to flare. Things continue to build here. As we get down to the final laps here, Greg Haskell one more time in the RH21 going to bring him back to green.
We do have 1 lap to go with the RH21 still your current leader. Coming to the double checker, the RH21 of Greg Haskell is your championship leader with the 05 of Mike Lewis and the 53H of Justin Martin, followed by the 43 of Cody Van Winkle. And then the 29 of Ryan Bonner. And that will finish off our championship night late model feature. Our top 3 will be heading to the track, and our announcer Dean will be heading down there to interview Haskell, Lewis, and Martin, the 53H. Definitely an eventful race, but glad we got to a finish while we sit here, while we wait for the drivers to get out of their cars to have a little chat with us on how they felt the race went tonight. Because sometimes the drivers in their car do not know what's going on with the rest of the race.
Well, I'm going to jump in here with our 3rd place finisher with a car that I believe is currently overheating. Justin Martin.
It's weird. This thing's got fenders on it. This is the 3rd night in this car.
I mentioned earlier on that this guy is an open wheel guy behind the wheel of a sprint car last time we saw you, and that was a few years ago. But parking this 53H with the car owner coming out here, heck of a run, Justin.
This is unreal. I used to make fun of these guys, driving people around in these taxi cabs, This was awesome. We got a shoestring budget here. This is a little baby crate car. I think my daughter's Power Wheels at home has more power. We're up here running with these big boys. This is awesome. I gotta thank Brad Simpson, Mansell, Magnum, Constantino, Valtech Trailers, Trailer Parkers. Go get some BBQ from those guys. That's freaking awesome. You guys will love it. And we're gonna party tonight and have a couple beers. This is awesome.
Well, there it is, Justin Martin. I'm going to jump in here with this guy, too. Not a bad run. Trailer Parker had to leave early, but this has got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels real good. I mean, we were side by side there until that last restart. Unfortunately, we couldn't be right beside him, but great run.
Justin Martin finishing 3rd tonight. Second place finisher tonight, Mike Lewis from Wallaceburg, comes home after an event-filled feature here. Can you tell us a little bit about your run tonight?
It was a battle of nutrition, that's for sure. Thanks for the fans for coming out. Appreciate your race in front of you. The track's a little rough tonight, so it had a little character. So I guess here we are.
Never a dull moment. Happy to come home second. You got the crew working for you back in the pits there.
Yeah, Dan and Rocket and Mac worked pretty hard so we can get out here. So I got to thank them. I'll thank, I guess I got my business on there. We got Rob's Automotive on there. We got Dan Lewis Enterprise on there. But I guess it is what it is. Congratulations to Greg on his win and on his points championship by the looks of things. So good for him. Things are good.
Good to go with our runner-up here tonight. Mike Lewis finishing second. We're going to jump in here with tonight's feature winner. Is that a Longhorn hat? Tonight's feature winner, Greg Haskell, a long feature, 2 features tonight. Tell us how your night went.
Well, by the finishes, I guess it went pretty good, but that was pretty embarrassing. From inside the car, I feel sorry for the fans having to sit through that. Like, man, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I got to thank all the guys that helped me. My brother's been a huge help, Scott, Tim, Bob. Like, without those guys helping me, and then all my sponsors, obviously, Lube Tech, Performance Fiberglass Marine. I got to give a huge shout out to Ty Twerk Racing and AccuForce Dyno Shocks. They got that shock that got destroyed a week ago, and he started on Monday, had it back. The car was phenomenal. I could go anywhere. And then obviously Gary and Sherry. Without Gary and Sherry, this car isn't here. It might be here, but it probably isn't as good as what it actually is. But congrats to Mikey getting second. I had no idea. My brother was giving me signs, and the last time he forgot to tell me how far the guy. So those last 2 laps, green, white, checkered. I had her to the floor. I don't know if it feels like something's coming apart in the rear end, but it's a rough track. Everyone had to race it, but thanks for the fans for sitting through that. But it wasn't as fun in the car, I'm sure, as it was up in the stands for that.
Well, let's give it up for our feature winner tonight, Greg Haskell. We see you back for the shootout.
Oh, definitely. That Brett. Everybody should definitely be here on the 9th and 10th because that Brett Riome race is going to be an awesome one. I have to add too that I don't know where CJ is. Like he had such a good year, and I don't know where he disappeared to. I hope he's doing all right, and it would have been good where if Andrew was here too. So, but oh yeah, Spielman's mom. Like I can't even believe he's in the car. Like I guess she passed away like a couple hours before he got here. So my heart's out to those guys. I don't know how he did it. So.
It's one big family here at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. Congratulations to all of our late model feature winners here tonight.
So here our Thunderstocks are taking the track. You have your points leader, the 96T of Todd Shaw. On the outside of him, you have the 5G of Gord Grant. Our second row on the inside, the 96 of Steve Shaw. Next to him, you have the 92 of Paige Lanou. The third on the inside, the 36 of Alan Riome. Beside him on the outside, you have the 93F of Kelvin Fox. The fourth on the inside, you have the 98 of Andrew Below. And beside him, the 43 of Gerald Martin. The fifth row on the inside sits the 42 of Matt Wilson. And beside him, you got the 444 of Brian Brady. Sixth row on the inside, you got the 47B of Mitchell Brusso, and next to him on the outside, the 93 of Nathaniel Greenaway. Seventh row on the inside, the 30 of Laura Authier. Beside her, you got the 75 of Ryan Berry. Eighth row on the inside, you got the 93K of Mike Blazinga and the 76 Jeff Drummond. And our last row for the night, you got the 16 of Scott Suit and the 8X of Adam Show. Championship feature race is coming into turn 4 where we are going to take the green. Looks like we got the 444 Brian Brady up in the wall in turn 2. And the 38 of Laura Othier did slow down, but she got her car going. The caution is going to come out for that 444. But it does look like the 30 of Laura Othier has a right front flat.
Well, driver's going to double up one more time before we get ready to go back to green. On the front row, we have Todd Shaw. Gord Grant ready to go. 20 laps the distance for our Thunderstock Championship feature here tonight. Well, lap number 1 in the books, and already some contact there. The 5G getting into the back of Todd Shaw. We also have the 92 of Paige Lanoux as she is slow down the backstretch. 3 wide for the lead. Car slowing the back. All kinds of things going on. Steve Shaw in the 96 now makes his way to the lead. Kelvin Fox jumps into that second position.
As Paige Lanoux makes it to the infield, I believe, with a flat tire.
Quite a battle shaping up here. Steve Shaw jumps out with a 2-car lead over the rest of the field, but behind him, things heating up. Calvin Fox running in that second position. Andrew Mayu and Gord Grant doing battle for that third position. Heck of a run so far for that 98 machine.
The 75 of Barry, I don't know what happened there, but he's made his way into the infield as well. Grant Mallow fighting for that third place position as we come into turn 3.
So up front, we don't have things starting to spread out just a little bit. Now Calvin Fox still trying to track down our leader in Steve Shaw. Andrew Mayu in the 98 car still running strong in that third position. Behind him, Gord Grant. Alan Reno now inside the top 5 as Todd Shaw and Gerald Martin battle behind him for the 6th and 7th position. Well, a right rear flat on the 5G of Gord Grant. That is going to slow him down for this feature event. As he comes into contact with Gerald Martin, everybody gathers it up, and both of those cars are going to be even. And I'm wrong again. Gord Grant comes to a stop as Gerald Martin makes his way into the pits.
And And it does look like that 5 did make a tiny bit of contact with the wall, but I don't think that it was hard enough to do any damage to the front end of that car. And it does look like the 44 of Brady has made his way back onto the track, as well as the 30 of Laura Othier has made it to the tail of the field to try to finish this race.
So green flag back out on the racetrack. Steve Shaw.
Looks like the 30 of Othier has turned around in turn 1 and 2, but she was able to get back around without causing a caution.
Well, up front we see Alan Riom in the 36 battling now for that third position inside of Calvin Fox in the 93. Mitch Russo sticking his nose up in there as well in the 47B. So lots going on as Todd Shaw tries to make his way back to the front of this feature as well.
Our flagman giving the 5 laps to go signal to these drivers.
So 5 to go here behind race leader Steve Shaw. Calvin Fox continues to run in that second position as Alan Riom in the 36 now battling with him inside as they head down into 1 and 2. A little bit of contact there between the two drivers, but they continue on. Todd Shaw looking to get up in the mix back inside the top 3 and get that podium finish here.
Definitely very interesting to watch as our drivers come up to the end of the field, the lap traffic, trying to make sure that you're avoiding those other cars.
Alan Riom taking advantage, jumping to that second position as they headed around the 30 of Othier. Solid run from that 36 machine. He will now try to track down the race leader. As I say that, he comes around and unfortunately collects Todd Shaw as well. So both of those guys will be done for the night. Unfortunate for them. So as usual, just as I was about to say, what a great run by the 36 machine. He brings it around.
Every kid's dream to want to be up at the flag stand. So our flagman Aiden and his junior flag are up there, out there waving that white flag to give us 1 lap to go. We got Aiden up there with our junior flagger. He is holding him up and letting this junior flagger throw the green for our last 2 laps of this Thunderstock Championship race. Go throwing the white flag with your leader, 96 of Steve Shaw, and Andrew Mayu, my apologies, has managed to get up to that second place as the 47B, Mitchell Brusso, and the 93 of Fox fight for the 3rd place finish. And here we go, throwing the checkered with the 96 of Steve Shaw, your championship winner, followed by the 98 of Mayu. and the 93 of Fox, and the 47 of Baruso. So our top 3 drivers will take the track while Dean does make their interviews. One more time, that is Steve Shaw, Andrew Mayu, and the 93 of Kelvin Fox finishing off your top 3.
Well, lots of high fives all around here with these youngsters getting it done tonight. Making this old man Steve Shaw work for it, that's for sure. I'm going to jump in here with our 3rd place. I don't even think, just to throw this out there, the 2 finishing 2nd and 3rd together probably aren't as old as Steve Shaw. No, you get over there. I got it. No, you. No.
We're done. I'm going to say it's got to be a win for these 2 guys.
I just told you, and I'll tell people, I said, I don't care if Steve Shaw wins. He's done it before. Great job. I want to interview those other 2 kids behind him.
You go right ahead because they deserve it.
Congratulations. Steve Shaw is your feature winner, but I'm going to get over here. All right, kid, come here. This will be the test. See what kind of interview stuff we can do here. Kelvin Fox, 15 years old, finishing 3rd tonight. Tell us about your run.
Car felt really good. Started getting better as the race went on. Then that last restart, so I found something that just wasn't feeling right.
So one away a little bit on you, but you managed to hold on. That's a heck of a feature run. You guys obviously working hard. Car's a little tore up, but not a bad run. Isha, that's all right. Anybody, you got the whole family over here. You want to say thanks to anybody?
Mom, Dad, Vanderveer Racing, Team Smolders, Jay and Sons Trucking. Yeah.
Don't forget the sister.
Yeah, my sister.
Well, congratulations. I'll let you celebrate in style. Congratulations. 3rd place, Kelvin Fox. All right, another young man. You ready for this? Andrew Mayu coming home 2nd. Again, an impressive feature tonight. I don't know what to say other than good run, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell us about your night. How was it? What was it like getting through the field and getting up here trying to challenge with Steve and them?
It was pretty fun. It was challenging, that's for sure. I feel bad for the pass I made on Calvin, but it is what it is.
Rubbing his race, and I don't think he's mad about it. And I know I've talked to your old man a couple of times, so one of these days we're going to talk down on the track. And is he helping you out at all?
Yeah, for sure. He has his car set up real well.
Anybody else you want to say hi or thanks to all these folks behind you here?
Yeah, I just want to thank all my sponsors and everyone that comes here to watch us.
Just like that. Another one done. Congratulations for tonight's runner-up, Andrew Mayu. I am going to come over here to our feature winner, Steve. Obviously, as you said, good to see these youngsters coming up here. Tell us about your run. You started well. You had a good feature.
I'm just hanging on. It's kind of rough in the corners. I had to stay low, but just took my time. If anybody was going to pass me, they'd have to go through the ruts. So, These two guys, this is awesome for them.
Slow and steady wins, and you got it done.
Yeah, and it's great to see them championship night finish in second and third. So.
It's definitely good to see, and hopefully we'll get him back again. Anybody, I know you got the wife here. Anybody you want to say thanks to?
I got to say thanks to Mike Lewis and Gary Johns and Bob Miller.
Well, congratulations. Your feature winner tonight, Steve Shaw.